Now that we're done dehydrating your fruits or vegetables or whatever you've done, and it's all cooled down and nice and crisp and brittle and ready to be packaged, we're going to package it so that it stores longer. Like any other kinds of food, humidity, air, light, and temperature are the things that are going to affect how long your food stores. The less you have of those things, the longer your food is going to store. So to keep our dehydrated stuff done, there's a few little tips and a few easy ways that you can store your food to greatly extend the storage life. So we're going to start out with just storing in bags. These are 3 mil food saver type bags that I got from a company called dcprocessingequipment.com. Their bags are really good price and a really good quality, and they come in different sizes. So I'm just putting 3 different kinds of vegetables in here, and you can, if you want, put an oxygen absorber in. It will help absorb any other oxygen that your food saver doesn't get out. And then I'm just going to put it in the little, over the little canal where it sucks out the air. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to press it so it seals, sucks out the air and then seals it. Okay, it's stopped sucking the air out. It's just finishing up the sealing process. And you see that it's all sealed, keeping my food nice and airtight. I am going to put a date and what is in here so that I can find it later. And then because this is in clear packaging, I'll be putting it in an opaque bucket or Rubbermaid type of container to keep it safe from little critters and to help keep the light out. Okay, the next thing that we are going to show you how to do is sealing in jars. And this is also super simple if you have the right tools. So online you can find these little handy dandy lid sealers. They come in wide mouth and regular mouth size, and they're so easy to use. For food that you're going to be rotating fairly quickly, you do not need to put an oxygen absorber in. You just can seal it up. You're just going to put the lid on. You're going to put the lid sealer on, plug it into your food saver. It just has to have a port that you can plug it into. You plug it in, latch it down, and then just press canister, and it will start the sealing process. It does take a few minutes because it's sucking all the air out. Sometimes you'll get, you won't get that really close to the seal, and one of the things you can do is you put another lid on top, upside down, and then put the lid sealer on, and sometimes that gives it a little extra pressure so that it'll seal. But for the most part, you'll find it'll seal just like this. Okay, that's done now. So we're going to take off the lid sealer, and we're going to press, and you'll see that there's no give to it, meaning that all the air sucked out and it's sealed. This is one that we haven't done yet. You can see there's give to it. Makes a little popping noise. You'll know it's not sealed that way. So that's all nice and sealed and ready to go. If you are going to put oxygen absorbers in, if you buy them in a big mass and you're not using them all at once, you can just store them in a mason jar and suck the lid out of here too. It gets the extra oxygen out, and that will keep your oxygen absorbers viable for the next time that you want to use them. One other way that you can store is actually in Mylar bags. Mylar bags are a combination of a plastic and a metal that keep your food in the dark, so that it will, that other layer of protection we were talking about. So I still am going to be putting my food in freezer bags, in those thicker freezer bags, so it keeps it from poking through, although it is much more difficult to poke through with the Mylar bags because they are thicker mill than the just plastic ones. So I'm putting them in, and these also come in different sizes. These actually are from Rainy Day Foods. They have 3 different sizes, and these ones have Ziploc on them, which are great because when you open them, they're resealable. All right, so once this is all in, because I cannot use my food saver with this because it's too thick, it won't seal it. I'm actually going to just be using an iron with no moisture, so just a dry iron. And I am going to be adding an oxygen absorber in here to help to suck up that extra moisture. Then I'm just going to lay it down. There's two ways you can do it. You can just lay it down on your ironing board and you're just going to seal it. It's not hard, it's not difficult. You just hold it and it just melts the stuff on the inside, so it gives it a nice seal. You want to make sure you go all the way to the edges and that there's no wrinkles where air can get in. And that's all there is to sealing it. The oxygen absorber will work overnight, and by morning this will be all crinkled up. Another way you can do it, especially when you're wanting to use bags over and over, because these are reusable, is that you can use a straight edge of a piece of wood or even a piece of metal, and you can just lay it down and you can just iron right on that edge, so it gives you a crisper edge, which I didn't do very good with that, but you get the idea. So that's it. That's all there is to sealing. So remember, when you are storing your food, if you're going to be using it pretty regularly, you just need to put them in jars and suck the air out. If you're going to do it for more long term, you're going to want to either do it in thicker plastic bags or in the Mylar bags. And that's it for sealing. One thing that gets asked often is how often does dehydrated food store? And that depends on how dry your food was to begin with. So you want to make sure it's nice and dry, and how cool a temperature. The hotter the temperature, the less time it's going to store, and if you have all the air out. So these ways that we taught you about storing will give you a very good jump on that. Most of these foods here will store up to 5 years if they're kept under 70 degrees. Other than that, it's going to shorten down to, depending on the temperature that you're keeping it stored at. So it's all really up to you how fast you store it. With dehydrated stuff that you're home dehydrating, it's great just to be able to use it. And so then you don't have to worry so much about the storage life.